product registration and compliance. This is often an area that a lot of businesses and brand owners get stuck with, and rightly so, because it is a very complex area. The standards and the registration processes do change quite regularly within the UAE, and so it's important to keep abreast of this and to ensure that your products are correctly registered in order to be able to import them into the marketplace. When it comes to registration, there has to be a local UAE entity who does the registration through the online portals. Usually that is for municipality when it is food-based products. For some of the supplement and nutraceutical products, there are different routes for registration, and we're seeing more and more a push towards the Ministry of Health type registrations, which is more stringent and requires more documentation and takes a longer period of time. Again, when it comes to how long for registration, it really does depend. We've seen it with clients where things happen very quickly and others where it's become much more complex. And even with the same product, but just different flavorings, for example, we've had no issue with one product on registration and numerous issues and amends and claims that are needing to be verified on another. So unfortunately, there's no one size fits all. And often as well, choosing who to work with and how to work within the marketplace when it comes to your distribution partners and registration partners is also critical as to how successful and how quickly that process may happen. However, it is important to note that compliance is a real important issue and one to take seriously when you are looking to export your products into the UAE. Usually to register your products, it's normally quite straightforward. There's front of pack images, flat artwork files, and the Arabic translation, which for food items is a mandatory requirement for the UAE. For other categories, less so compliance on Arabic labelling, but things such as date coding, which is usually different from, say, the UK way of best before, must be adhered to also and be clearly printed on packs too. There's also a number of other compliance for registration aspects, such as including country of origin on all packs, again something which some countries do not mandate, but having English and Arabic is the bare minimum, and a number of other key aspects when it comes to compliance must be adhered to. Be mindful also that with your packaging, any claims that you make on the pack may be either contested or you will need to verify them. So things such as claiming products as gluten-free. If a product is organic, then clearly the organic certification is needed to be required to be proven. Also, there is a number of complexities around the halal certification. And if your products do contain any products that would require then halal certificates to prove that the product can be imported, then that also needs to be considered. You need to make sure that you have the relevant halal certifications relative to your product category that are recognised by the UAE authorities. So to summarise, compliance is really important in order to make sure you can export your product to the UAE. You need to adhere to the UAE rules and guidelines, and you must have your product successfully registered and approved for importation before you can ship any of those goods. Remember also that any claims and additional documentation for the compliance must be sent in, adhered to, and kept up to date in order to make sure that continuity of supply once you start exporting to the UAE. Thanks for taking the time to listen to us today. If you've got any queries on exporting to the Gulf, do get in touch. We'd love to help.